Why don't you still give
We
it,
got a couple minutes.
give it another couple
I got
minutes.
6:59.
And we did call and nobody's answering? Well, we knew two weren't coming, but we thought,
I knew Ryan wasn't coming, and I knew Rachel wasn't coming, and then Melissa had car problems just a little while ago, and she's in Belvedere, so she's not coming, and I have no idea what Aaron's doing.
I wasn't gonna
he
come.
sometimes comes right on the spot, right on the line.
Or late.
Well,
Or late,
I
or
got
late.
7 o'clock, so.
Anybody have a deck of cards?
Pictionary board, boy. There you go. Why not?
Do we have to do a roll call? Okay. All right, it's 7:01, so I'm going to declare no meeting. We don't have a quorum.
Oh, so we don't have to do the pledge then, or no?
We don't have to do any, I mean,
I don't have
it's
to do
technically
anything.
not a meeting. We have a majority of a quorum, so we're not allowed to discuss village business or take any action, but we do have someone who's here to make a presentation, so there aren't any.
Yeah, without any further ado.
There aren't any minutes.
Okay.
Welcome.
Yes.
That's really being
So
at
if
the
he-
top
if
of
he-
the agenda.
Laura Lynn Falwell.
If he shows up, then we can start the
Thank you,
meeting late.
Laura Lynn is here from Keystone Tower. She contacted me.
You can just leave those in their
about a month
spots and
ago.
she'll put them in their mail.
Okay, you don't need, okay.
And she'll put
Contacted
those
me
in their
about a month ago,
mailboxes.
Concerning the possibility
Well, you
of
know
putting
what?
in a solar
I will take them.
facility
Thank you so much.
at our wastewater facility, which would be dedicated for the wastewater facility. And
And then can I take the pictures to put in their mail?
I checked some references, and as far as I can tell, they are who they say they are, and it is what they say it is. So without further ado, I'm gonna let Laura Lynn take over.
Fantastic. Do you have a place where you want me, or?
No, that's good,
Is
right
this
there is
fine?
good.
Okay. So, President Peng, thank you so much for having me tonight and for all of the help for both you and Crystal getting us the information we needed in order to do savings analysis and the solar proposal. So, we think we have a really good offering here for the wastewater treatment plant. Keystone Power Holdings has been in Illinois since the Illinois Shines program came online like around 2016 into 2017. We are probably, in terms of all the companies out there, we've probably done the most wastewater treatment plant work and development and finance than any other company in Illinois. So we're really, this is our wheelhouse. In fact, your site is very easy to build on compared to many of the others that we've built around the state. So just so you know, Keystone has been in business since 2012, which for a solar company is a long time, over 10 years. And both the partners worked on much bigger solar and green projects internationally before they started Keystone. Our main office is in Philadelphia. We have an office in St. Charles, and I'm responsible for the entire state. So, and it's a much bigger state than I remembered.
It's a long state.
North-south at least. So you guys are fairly close. I'm usually out of my home office in northwestern Illinois. I'm in the corner there, closer to Dubuque, actually. So you guys actually aren't that far comparatively, but appreciate the opportunity to work with you. On the first thing we just listed, I mentioned some of the projects we've done in Illinois. We've done wastewater treatment plants, we've done colleges and schools. We concentrate on those because we finance these projects. We build and develop them, we maintain and operate and own them. So we're a single source provider of solar, which makes us very different than other companies out there. And we also will build smaller system sizes. So yours is 400. The smallest we built, I think, is Abington, their wastewater treatment plant below the Quad Cities. I think that was 200. there's a lot of companies out there that only build if it's a meg or 2 megs or, and all that. So this is kind of our niche, and that's, you know, we're very comfortable. This is a project we'd really love to work with you on if you choose Keystone. Kind of mentioned the single source for solar. There's a lot of developers out there who will build the system and do it on a power purchase agreement, which we'll get into that in a minute. But they'll sell them off to a bank. You know, they're not as consistent with the maintenance and operation. So this is all we do, and you know, you guys aren't in the business of solar. So our goal is to build it, finance it, but we are your long-term partners in this. We own and operate it. We put a fence around it. Anything inside there is our responsibility. We have 24/7 monitoring. You know, you'll have access to all that, but we're really comfortable with that. We do use, when we build, we work with a lot of local contractors, RBI Solar, we use Fairgram Engineering. So we have a team kind of here, but we run the project management from Keystone's construction arm. And we finance the project through Keystone's financing. So that's another different thing. We know we can finance it, we have the money in place, we know we can build this project. And we know the sooner you're able to move, we're still in the Illinois Adjustable Block Program 5. So that's why it says the deal is good for 60 days, because we're not sure when it's going to tip over into Adjustable Block 6, and that changes some stuff. We could probably be very close, but just so you know that's how we're using those tools to finance, as well as some federal and state. And the reason we work with schools and municipalities is because you guys, you know, non-for-profits can't go get those tax credits. So we use them to put the whole projects together. So it's not any kind of magic trick, it's pretty straightforward financing. So the power purchase agreement basically is, there's no upfront cost to the city, except for maybe, as we look at the power purchase agreement, it's a 40-page document, so city attorneys and the city's
Sitting
time.
right in the corner.
Oh, well, there, hello.
That's me.
And there is, and that's not even the first step. The first step, if you decide to move forward, just so you know, would be a 2-page non-binding LOI for 6 months. And basically, yeah, and I guess if you guys are interested after today and you want to take a look at that, if that helps when you're all ready to vote, I can get that over to you.
Okay.
I'll grab your card at the end of this, if that's okay.
But it says that your ownership options don't actually begin until like after 10 years?
That's correct, yes. So, and honestly, no one has ever exercised that, that we run into. We really had it in there because we do commercial properties as well, some big commercial properties. And although I'm the BDM for all of Illinois, we do build a lot in New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and California, and some others. And on the corporate side, they want the opportunity to buy out.
Okay.
Most towns are probably not going to do that. It probably wouldn't make sense.
Right.
But, you know, no one can predict the future, so it's there. You have the opportunity. If you decide to exercise it, it's fair market value at the time. You know, you get both parties, you get a third party to preview, you know, to go through it. So, but you have the options, and all of that is more detailed in the power purchase agreement, which is pretty much basic power purchase agreement language. And we work back and forth during the LOI period to, you know, go back and forth with red lines or anything specific, you know, whatever needs to happen in that point. But it's pretty basically straightforward. The power purchase agreement, basically, there's no upfront cost. You're basically agreeing to the purchase the electricity supply that is generated from the solar array system. And you're doing that at a much discounted rate. You're still on the grid because we have to interconnect the inverters, you know, up to AC and DC. And the way that, just so you know, I think we might have talked about this, but the way that the utility companies work on this, obviously you're going to produce more power in the summer than the winter. So that's why we try to get stuff up like in spring, because you're gonna bank a lot of credits in the summer. It goes to the utility, which in this, you guys are a ComEd.
Comment.
And it trues up, you know, it trues up every month. So as you get into December, stuff that, you know, maybe you had extra credits, so you kind of bank those credits. Regardless, Keystone does all that for you, so you're just paying a much lower rate in this case. We'll get into that in just a minute, but it's I think significantly lower than your current rate, and then you're locked into that. And then the power purchase agreement is a 30-year agreement, so it's a long-term agreement. At the end of the 30 years, there's 3 options. One is, and this is all again in the PPA, which we can get more into the nitty-gritty, but basically we're responsible for putting the land back the way it was. The solar panels will still be working at that point. I mean, there'll be degradation, which we know, but you basically could have free energy. So either, it's more expensive probably to pull it out than to either sell it to you and you maintain it, or we do a tiny fraction that just covers the maintenance and we continue to do that. So those are kind of the basic 3 that are usually listed. So that's pretty straightforward as well. Any questions so far?
I don't think we can ask any questions since it's not a meeting, can we?
Yes.
Yeah, you can discuss it.
Generally, you can.
I would suggest the board actually not
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say.
engage in any activity, we can't engage in the business of the village because it's a noticed out, see, the interesting thing is, it's a noticed out meeting, so nobody in the public is being denied access to, it's not like a
Yeah,
meeting.
this is streaming right
It's not
now.
like a meeting in
I
somebody's,
went to,
yeah.
Board Clinton.
it's not like you're meeting in somebody's kitchen talking
Right.
about village business and nobody knows about it. So everybody knows, everybody can be on the TV screen, so there really isn't an issue of secrecy, so asking questions probably is not a problem.
Okay. If you'd like, if there's no questions on this side, we can go take a look at the, on page 7 here.
I do have one item,
oh, yeah.
okay? Just want to let you know.
Yep,
Tell me if I gotta shut up, okay? We have an engineering group firm for the village.
Okay.
Strand Engineering, I don't know if you know who they are.
I am not on the engineering side, but I think I have
Okay.
heard of them. We've
They're
done a lot of
They're out of
projects.
out of Madison. We just signed an agreement with them to do a capital improvement plan for the sewer plant.
Okay,
So if we do this, I'm gonna have you guys coordinate with them
Sure.
to make sure that if we're replacing any equipment or upgrading any systems, that everything is still compatible.
absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. Yeah, that's no problem at all.
Okay.
That's on the project management side, but, yeah, we have, that should be no problem. And
Okay.
a lot of times, cities, they have contractors they're more comfortable with or whatever, so we do our best to totally accommodate
Okay.
anything, as long as they're qualified to do the work that we're asking them to do, obviously. But we'll work with you on that and any warranties. Sometimes when we do rooftops as well, and we work directly with manufacturers on warranties. So all that's pretty standard on the project management
Okay.
side. So that shouldn't be a problem at all.
Okay.
So yeah, and so you can see where we've put it, and I worked with President Bank
Yes.
on approving the location for now. Now, this is obviously preliminary.
Yes.
It's just kind of to give you the idea, this is a 400 kilowatt DC system array. It gives you the size of the space we need. This can be tweaked, it can be moved. We might find, as we get into the engineering and surveying and all that stuff and pulling permits, that process might move it, but I think this looks pretty straightforward unless we get out there and find out that,
Yeah, I don't
it's
think
like-
that's gonna be the issue. So-
yeah, that it's gonna, yeah. So I think it should be fine. If you guys decide to move forward, the LOI would basically start us spending the money to prep the site, to do, mechanicals, designs. There's a number, as anyone knows who works on development, on the construction side, it's probably about a 6-month process. Our goal is to kind of try to get some stuff signed now in January, and that's a lot of times where a lot of projects start to hit, which is great because the goal is to do spring, and if you can get it done in spring, and we also are paying for interconnect through ComEd. They take a while, they don't always put at the top of the list, so just like normal construction type issues, but probably the quickest would be 4 months. Generally, I'd say it's about 6 months.
Okay.
But that's pretty much what it would look like.
Okay.
And during that time, we'll spend a significant amount of money. That's where all of the prep goes. The actual installation and building of it is 3 to 4 weeks, probably maybe less for something this small. And it's pretty clear too, so we can stage and get in there.
Okay.
So once we get past all of the prelim stuff and, all the legal stuff and it is set, it should go very quickly once it's approved and we have our interconnect. So yeah, there's a good shot of getting it done before summer. And then how we do the savings analysis is, and I'll dive in deeper, but just to go over this, how we get the numbers, This is basically just the historical industrial prices for energy over a very long time period. You can see it's from 1970. The gray line is general inflation, the orange is Illinois. So you expect, as you would expect, it's up, it flat lines, it spikes, it dips. It's currently at about a 4% inflationary number, but historically what we use for all of our savings calculations is we use an escalator of 3.4%, because we'd rather be conservative and, deliver a better value, but currently right now.
Over-deliver.
But yeah, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. So that's where we're going to take the number that you'll see in the spreadsheet. And, if you want to dig into it deeper, there's links and all that kind of prove it out. So, excuse me. So basically what we are proposing, Keystone is proposing to build the 400 kilowatt DC system on plant land. There's no investment or operational or maintenance responsibility for the city or the village. It's a 30-year agreement to generate and purchase electricity at fixed prices, and those two options include a starting rate of 0.399 kilowatt hour on your supply side, which is 55% below your current rate, and it would escalate at 2.25 per year versus 3.4, now that you understand where we pull the 3.4. The other option is a starting flat rate of 0.499, which is 45% below your rate. So these are pretty substantial.
Yeah.
It's crazy how usually we would target about 20%. So this is kind of big. In the flat rate though, people have been asking for that, so we've given it to them. And at a flat rate, it will never rise, so it's going to be locked in.
Yeah.
They're both good options. Everyone has different views on what they want to do. If we can go to the back pages, there's obviously some aerials of other sites we've done.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
So the 45%, that's 45, the 55% or 45%, that's 55, estimated 55% below our average cost now
Your
for
current, yes.
ComEd.
Yes.
And if, can't imagine this would actually happen, but if ComEd prices dropped and the 45% savings got down to 20% savings or whatever, is there an opportunity to adjust to maintain a 45% or 55% saving level?
It's a good question, but no. The hedge on this is that you're betting that, like you're locking in and you think that the energy prices are going to go below that, our rate offering. And to be honest with you, 4 cents for ComEd is a low rate to begin with.
I appreciate it's probably not going to happen, but
Yeah.
I have to look for the...
Absolutely. It's a hedge. It's a hedge that energy prices will drop.
And the other question is this estimated to provide 100% of the energy needs for the plant?
So that's just about what we're going to get into. That's a good question. It's not 100%. We build between 90 to 95% to offset. And this is because it doesn't do anybody good to send it back onto the grid, and it's a 30-year time period. So we have to buy wholesale, like if we overproduce 100% and we're producing 102%, we have to buy it wholesale back. So it's not really a good
So
rate.
if you produce too much, it goes onto the grid?
Yeah.
You sell it into the grid?
It's you can't use the credits, so we just get reimbursed.
Right.
It's not a money-making thing.
And do you anticipate generating on this type of a development in excess of our 400 kilowatt, whatever, our needs? And so every year you will sell a little bit into the grid, likely?
No, it'll go. It's all designed to go just specifically behind the meter for the power,
Okay.
the sewer plant.
But it might, here and there, whatever. Okay, I get it.
There could be, yeah. I think we're pretty good at kind of targeting that.
Yeah.
And the reason we'll go up to like 95%. The reason you want to be kind of 90 to 95 is it's a long-term agreement. So if there's additional efficiencies in the future, and people do that. They do LED. They're always looking for efficiency. So you want to leave yourself a little headroom. So that's what we do there. If you end up expanding the plant, we're happy to come back and add more system size.
Well, and it doesn't
cover
hurt
that.
us even if you do sell into the grid, so.
Yeah, you guys are okay. It's just how we have to design it. Yeah. But it's a good question. And I'm sorry this is so tiny. I need my magnifying glass to pass around to everybody. The way that we do it, so the very first one, and these are both the offers on the back 2 pages. So I'll just go through the escalation one. The flat rate is pretty self-explanatory. But just so you know how to find where the savings are. So if you look here at this very bottom table where it says estimated electric usage, we have used, I think, 6 months of we had 6 months of input, and then we averaged the other months. We're going to tweak that, obviously, if you guys decide to move forward, and we'll get more exact. But basically, these are from your own bills, and so we just plug those in down here. And then if you look to the left there at the bottom, it says electric usage. That's what gives us that total number from this thing. And then your array output, the second line, in this case, it's 91%. So that's where, as we were just discussing, this one's built currently at about 91% offset. Again, that could change between now and actually building it, may go a little higher or something, but it's going to be significant savings. You're still going to have a contract with ComEd, obviously, because all we can offset is supply, not delivery and all that stuff. So anything that you don't have credit for, you're going to have a little bit of a ComEd bill there, but it's.
Yeah, that's another thing. It isn't just the kilowatts per hour charge. There's no delivery charge. There's none of those extra fees that Commonwealth Edison charges on their bills, because it's a direct system.
Yeah, you'll still have ComEd will still be your delivery. All that's, we by law can't change any of that. I mean, it's part of the grid system, and
Well, wait a minute,
But
though.
we do pay them part.
you're going to continue to pay them delivery because they're
Okay.
delivering it.
But they're not delivering what you're producing, you're behind the meter.
Right, we're sending it back to them, they're crediting it you. They're crediting you, you're paying this rate, and anything for supply, for kilowatt supply. So
But
your
we still
current-
pay a delivery fee, though.
Yeah, everyone has to do that, because we all have to pay for, the utility that we're in, right? So,
Okay.
for the line fees and all that. And just so you know too, if the system, if you have a power outage, the solar system's gonna be down too. Everything shuts off automatically. It has to, because they're working on the lines that we're connected in.
Well, we have a backup generator.
Yeah, mostly
All
like
right, so-
generator, yeah.
Okay, so it goes out and then comes back in.
Yeah.
As opposed to, I have solar panels on my roof and it just, provides power to my house. It never goes out and comes back in, it's just there.
For
That's not
something
what
where
you're
you'd be
considering.
off-grid, you'd have battery, you would need batteries, and we're really not there at this kind of level. I mean, it's good for camping or something, but you have to store that power someplace, and we're not at the point where their batteries.
I just didn't, naively, I thought behind the meter was pure behind the meter, where it just went straight to the plant and it never went into the grid. So
Gotcha.
it goes out to the grid and then gets delivered back to us and we
Yes.
get the credit on that. Okay.
Yeah.
Good question, though, because I didn't know that either.
And that's a really common thing. So, yeah, that's why I try to explain the credits and all that. But these are all good questions, and so hopefully by the end of this, everyone can be, and also, by the way, if there's additional questions with the council, we can jump on a call.
Yeah, sure.
And go through it all again. I'd be happy to do that.
Okay.
Whatever works for you guys to answer questions, we just want to make sure they get answered. So that's the bottom of the Excel chart. Now, if you go up to the top, it says system info. So there's your 400. So you plug 400 in, and then that's where we know that's 91%. If we went to like 420, it'd probably be more like 96%. And then below that is the capacity and the AC output. All of this gets a little bit more into the weeds, but just so you know, you're guaranteed a level of productivity. This is all in the PPA and all. So there's a lot of guarantees for all of this stuff, and if it goes down, we're losing money too, so we have every reason to want to get it back up, because we're not selling you power at that point. So again, so if you go below that though, utility PPA info. So this is where we inputted the numbers. The very top number, offsettable supply price per kilowatt hour, is 09026. That's your current rate, ComEd, about 9 cents. Below that, we put the 3.4% in to as the inflationary escalator. And then right below that PPA price that Keystone is offering, and there's where you have the 0399. And in this case, since it's the escalator, the 2.25 escalator, lower than historical. And then that's what gives you these numbers. Your first year discount is 55%, almost 56. Your 30-year discount, because remember these numbers are going to go like this over time, is close to 70%. And then all of that, line per line, year after year, is all documented here. So your current utility rate is in that first column. The PPA rate's in the second column. And if you go over to the right here, your first year savings on the escalator would be $27,000, roughly. And so the calculator's doing this year after year. And then it's starting the very final column, so you know what your savings is per year, and the other one is just your running tally cumulatively, which is how you get to, in this case, 1.4 million. So it looks complicated, but it's pretty basic math of how it's plugged in, so.
And then the next page is the fixed rate.
Yep, it's all set up the same, it's just the
It
fixed rate.
starts out a little less, but it ends up a lot more.
Yeah.
So, in
Yeah,
savings. So-
yeah. And it's still a really good rate. A lot of times flat rates were closer to just, we would try to just get to close to where they were at.
Yeah.
Sometimes it would be a little higher for that year to make it work, so. So yeah, I think you guys have a great opportunity for savings if this is something you're interested in doing.
Great. Yeah, I wish we had more people here to hear you tonight, but it's streaming, so it'll be on the internet.
Yeah.
Everybody can look at it, including the people that weren't here tonight, so.
Sure, hopefully, I've answered at least some basics.
Yeah.
And as they walk through it, it'll make more sense of walking through the proposal, especially that spreadsheet stuff can be a little
Yeah.
daunting just
Okay.
at first look. But, and you have the electronic copy, so I'm assuming everyone has that as well, which is I'm sure a little bit easier.
This is your email here?
Yes,
So you already have an email from me with all my contact information?
okay, oh, you are. Well, is it okay to just take a card?
I don't have a card
Okay.
because it's,
I can email you this
Okay,
information.
no
no,
problem.
I've emailed it to her already.
Oh, okay.
I sent you an email with all that.
Okay,
I tend to not carry cards anymore because
Yeah.
nobody seems to care about cards anymore.
I hear you.
It's all electronic.
Yeah, so page 10, just so everyone knows, if anyone has any questions and you just want to reach out directly, page 10 has all of our contact information. Again, I'm Laura so I'm here at the bottom. That's my direct cell phone and email, so if you have a question, just ask. The other two are the partners at Keystone, Anthony and Billy. I think Anthony was on the call. Was Anthony on the call or Billy? I'm losing.
I don't remember.
Okay, no worries. We all work on all the projects together anyway, so whoever you have the question for will direct. Anthony usually runs on the LOI side and the PPA. Billy really runs a lot of the construction stuff, so as we get into the project management side, and our project manager there is Dana. So we're working on Knoxville right now. There's a picture here of Lincoln. That's a big one, that's 1.8 megawatts. And you can kind
Yeah.
of see that. We have reference letters and all of that stuff. I think I supplied some of that stuff to you.
Yeah, and I talked to the superintendent of public works in Freeport.
Right.
Who put in a project. And,
Rob Boyers?
Yeah, something like
yeah,
that.
okay.
And he was very high on you guys. so,
Oh, good.
yeah.
Well, that's wonderful to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, that plan's been running for a while. That was one of our early first projects. It was a tough one because they don't have any land there. So you
Yeah,
see,
that's why you
it
had
was-
to do it the way you did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you kind of look at that and then look at the erase,
Yeah.
for you guys, you can see like this is pretty
It should be
straightforward.
pretty easy, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it should work fast as long as we can work through all the early process steps.
Okay.
But yeah, what would be next steps that you guys?
Well, we have a meeting, our next meeting is scheduled for the 27th. Hopefully, we'll have more than 3 people here at that meeting, and then we can try to see if we want to move forward with
Okay.
this, okay?
Sure.
So that's the next step.
Okay, and then, go ahead.
Although you think we'll be ready to approve in December? I would
No, I'm
think
not
approval
talking
would
about,
be
I'm not
realistic.
talking about approving
Yeah.
the project, I'm just talking about approving
The concept.
moving forward with the
going,
concept.
Get the LOI,
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
the
I would
get the
think
contracts
closer to
going.
sometime in January, we
Yep.
could do something close
Understandable, sure.
forward with the
Yeah, be
project.
close.
And then we can have it up and running hopefully by spring.
Yep,
So-
absolutely. That's a good, I think those are
Okay.
good goals to have if you
Yeah,
decide.
I mean, the money, the savings here is, it should be a no-brainer for people, so.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And the fact that it isn't costing the village anything, and I verified that it isn't gonna cost the village anything, I just think, yeah, something that we should definitely take under our wing.
Yeah, and hopefully you get a lot of good, usually when we do these press releases that go out are really super positive for the
Yeah.
town, because it helps everybody, so.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
And usually people don't mind if it's the wastewater treatment plant, no one's looking at it. it's
Well,
like
that's
there's
the other
nothing
nice
out
thing
there.
about it is, yeah.
You're not taking farmland.
It's not downtown Capron, okay?
Right.
Yeah.
So I will follow up with everyone. I'll send the LOI to both of you, just so you can have a look at it. If
Yeah,
you want to bring that
okay.
up at the next meeting, you can at least have had
Sure,
reviewed it.
that's
Yeah.
great. And you can forward my email I sent to
Yeah.
you to anyone else, these other individuals.
Okay, yeah, I
as
will.
they might need it. Or-
Absolutely.
Or respond and CC them, so then I'll have it, I'll
Yeah.
have their information as well.
They're going to be included when I send it out. So, yeah, and Anthony will probably be the one fielding the questions as you guys move forward. He generally is. But the LOI is pretty simple. You'll see it's 2 pages.
2 pages.
It's basically saying, you're not going to, we're spending money on this, and we're gonna develop designs and all that, and at the end, you can walk away from this, but you can't use all the work that we did, which makes sense.
Yeah, sure.
And share that with another
Sure,
firm and say,
absolutely.
okay, now
Yeah,
you build
okay.
it, they've done the work. So pretty basic.
Okay. All right,
So-
thanks for coming.
Thank you, guys, so
All right.
thanks again for all your help.
Drive careful.
Nice meeting
Yes, you
everyone.